Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 19th of October, comes to you from London. And the big question in energy markets at the moment is, will we make the lower low? This is German power. We've come up, we've pulled back, we've made a little high. Will we go lower than that low that we saw a week ago? So this is it on the 60-minute chart, and we'll look at the targets and we'll come back to look at that. The same question applies to gas, most other markets in energy, so quite an interesting one. First of all, we'll look at the macro, and we'll look at that at the end. First of all, the dollar is sinking lower, so short-term bearish. This is the weekly, daily and 60-minute chart, so my long-term, medium-term and short-term view of the market. So dollar weakness is just creeping in at the moment, but we do still have short-term upside targets, and the medium-term trend is one of recovery. Looking at a euro, that means the euro is looking stronger against that dollar on the short-term chart, maybe just finding some weekly cloud support there. If we look at sterling, sitting at 137.84, again looking stronger against that weaker dollar. And if we look at the sterling euro chart, we're just holding this 118 level, so sterling has the upper hand there, so that's quite strong. Bitcoin sitting steady at $62,000. The target is $83,000. So we're pushing on towards that target now. So no big surprises there. Looking at the S&P 500 index, we recovered yesterday strongly. We are starting to see the market nudging towards another new high. Only about 1.5% to go to a new high there. So not a lot left to do. The Nasdaq also just pushing higher as well, finding cloud support on the daily. Again, bullish on all three time frames. Not to say that we aren't slowing down, but for the moment the market's looking better. The future's up slightly this morning, so it looks like the market will open flat to just slightly higher. The VIX volatility is low, back at 16, so back to the levels that we saw in the summer. So the fear index is not so fearful at the moment. The DAX in Germany is down very slightly. European markets very flat this morning. Japan was up 0.4%, and the Hang Seng up 1.4%, showing quite a strong recovery there. Maybe a double bottom, but we are still medium-term bearish below the cloud, of course. And China is looking steady, up 0.7%. So India just keeps pushing higher. India is one of the clearest uptrends that we have at the moment, some 44% upside on that longer term chart. And the Aussie market was down slightly. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Looking at wheat, we're up another 0.5% here. Getting ready for a breakout, really. Lots of upside targets. Wheat looking quite explosive. We're seeing that across the board with commodities potentially. Gold sitting at 1781, just struggling to get above this $1,800 level. Silver back above 23, so looking a little bit better there as well, but still medium term bearish. Copper actually had a very strong showing, and zinc yesterday really jumped right up. So we are seeing some base metals really starting to move again, so that's quite interesting for copper. US 10-year yields just nudging the 1.6% level on the 10-year, and on the 30-year we're sitting at 204, so again just holding that 2% level, so it's quite key. And the German bond, we're just watching for a break of this support level. That's going to be quite important for the bond market. Inflation fears surfacing all the time, of course. Now coming back to the energy mix, we look at Brent Crude first of all, pushing higher. No big surprises here. We've got targets to 84 met, 88, 87, 97, so 88 here. On the 1 minute chart, this is what you need to trade with short-term for oil. We're seeing here 2% upside. This is daily, 60-minute and 1 minute, giving me again a medium-term, short-term and very short-term view of the market. The 1 minute targets are what you need for trading, and my daily and my 60-minute chart just reminding me what my trends are. And if we look at WTI, similarly we've got targets to 84. We're sitting at 83.20 at the moment, so no big surprises there. 87, 89 is one of the targets, so pushing higher. It's all bullish on those charts at the moment. US nat gas back to $5, so looking a little bit better, but really just finding support at that 490 level. We went out as bearish to clients this week on US nat gas because we're below the 60-minute cloud. Coal sitting at $143 on API2, just struggling again to make higher highs. That's what we really need to see here. We've got some downside targets, some 17% lower on coal, so we have to watch for those. those. And emissions, we went out as bearish this week to clients on emissions, basically breaking support below the cloud here. So again, we were just worried about that. Keep an eye on those 1 minute targets on your emissions charts, absolutely vital if you're trading emissions as well. And the UK emissions future also breaking lower, the target's less clear here. Looking at NBP, UK Nat Gas, down this morning some 6%, just struggling. We were actually bearish on NBP this week. Just felt that it looked like it was going to break to new lows. Bit of a hard call, of course, but at the moment, until we break to new lows, it's not truly bearish, but we do have this downside target. TTF, we were neutral to clients. We felt the chart looked a little bit better than on NBP, and we did have these upside targets, just willing us to see that we might get a recovery, but we've got targets in both directions. Very hard call at the moment. It's all about watching this 80 euro level. If we fall through 80 euros, that's support. That would be worrying. So that's what we have to watch for at the moment. The seasonal TTF chart not looking so bad. So that's if you look at the OTC seasonal, looking a little bit better, but not pulling back as much. German power, of course, and of course this data much better on your OTC data on Trayport. Looking at the German power chart, we just talked about that. We have got a relief rally target this morning to 128, so we might just find some support here and push higher, but we've got the downside target. Don't forget to play with your box sizes. That will be quite insightful to you. We see these downside targets being given and met. We go smaller still. We see these relief rally targets. So don't be afraid to play with those box sizes on your 1 minute charts. That's absolutely quite key. Looking at Nordic power, we're down here. We were bearish. This was the power market that we were most bearish about the last couple of weeks, and we are still looking bearish there on the CAL and on the quarterly. We're seeing a bit of a recovery, so not quite as bearish. In fact, we were neutral there. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.